Cannibalism. It's the stuff of nightmares. A taboo so dark you'd be filled with dread to share a room with one. You've seen it portrayed in mainstream media as the most heinous of crimes, usually with a horrifying backstory. In today's video, we're delving into a realm where characters take this horrific notion to the extreme. Unlike the desperate survivors of plane crashes or those following unusual cultural traditions, these characters do it for one simple reason: they enjoy it. Number 1. Sedo Takisawa, Tokyo Ghoul. Sedo Takisawa stands out as one of the most terrifying and complex figures in Tokyo Ghoul. He's a former investigator turned ghoul with an insatiable hunger for violence. You never know if you'll encounter a remorseful soul or a gleeful sadist, and that unpredictability keeps you on edge. Dr. Kano plays a big role in shaping Takisawa due to his twisted experiments and relentless torture. He subjected Takisawa to horrifying procedures which ultimately drove him to the brink of insanity. This is kind of where we see the Jekyll and Hyde struggle kicking in. Takisawa's craving for human flesh and his gruesome, cruel method of satisfying his appetite strikes at the heart of what terrifies us as humans. He forces us to know the possibility that we might have a capacity for cruelty and madness we never knew about. If you think about it, Takisawa is eerily similar to the Joker. They've both got a thing for chaos and violence, they do some pretty messed up stuff, further reflect on their actions, and then seem to relish in it. They're like a blurry line between sanity and madness. Their deranged charisma keeps us glued to our seats for more. Number 2. Slug Count, Berserk. In the brutal world of Berserk, one character that stands out as an icon of horror is the Slug Count. The Count was once a nobleman living a life of wealth, privilege, and inquisition. He was a family man with a capacity for cruelty that was kept hidden from his daughter. However, one day he discovered his wife engaging in heresies he usually executes people for, and that's when he activates his Behelit and summons the God Hand. The Slug Count offers up his wife's flesh and soul in exchange for an escape from his human torments, and he seals the deal by devouring her as his first demonic act. The Slug Count's personality is downright disturbing. He's a twisted blend of sadism and obsession. He absolutely loves tormenting others, and that's all because he's crazily fixated on absolutely violating the sanctity of all human life under the guise of Holy Inquisition. This obsession pushes him to commit unspeakable acts without a shred of remorse, with cannibalism being the very least of those things. The Slug Count's unquenchable hunger for suffering and pain is the stuff of nightmares. His grotesque appearance is a testament to how far he'll go for it. The manga's portrayal of his insatiable appetite for torment is absolutely brilliant. You know, there's a character that Slug Count really reminds me of, and that's Baron Harkonnen from Frank Herbert's Dune. These guys are like two peas in a pod, both corrupted nobles who have chucked their humanity out the window, all for some pretty dark and twisted goals. And what's scary is how they take a liking to cruelty and sadism, showing us just how awful things can get when power gets totally off the rails. Number 3. Police Chief, Karas. The police chief in Karas has a history that's as dark as the night itself. He was once a symbol of justice and law, but succumbed to the allure of power and darkness. This change of sides also transformed him into a monstrous figure. The police chief, well, he's got this twisted pleasure in wielding his power. Instead of protecting folks, he goes about inflicting torment with this sick glee. That sadistic side of his keeps everyone constantly on edge, because you can never predict when his authoritative mask is going to slip and reveal something way more sinister. The show goes the extra mile to give you the creeps when the police chief shows up. They use creepy soundscapes, dark and surreal visuals, and a bone-chilling storyline to make you feel the dread. Now, when it comes to his acts of violence and cannibalism, one scene really stands out. There's this unsettling moment when he devours the essence of a supernatural being in the most gruesome way, leaving an unforgettable impact that'll haunt your dreams. He then transforms and starts eating people at a shelter, which leads into the climactic sequence of the series. A character that shares similarities with the police chief in pop culture is Hannibal Lecter from The Silence of the Lambs. Both characters are well versed in the art of cannibalism, showcasing a refined taste for the grotesque. They blur the line between sophistication and sadism, making them utterly terrifying figures. Number 4. Doma, Demon Slayer. In the world of anime, where the line between the horrifying and the fantastic blurs, a character epitomizing true terror exists. Doma from Demon Slayer is not your ordinary demon. The history of Doma showcases his psychopathic personality. Even as a human, he became the head of his family at a young age. This required him to hear the tragedies of people. He didn't feel a shred of remorse for anybody. As one of the 12 Kizuki, the elite demon group in Demon Slayer, his past is shrouded in darkness and malevolence. He thrives on inflicting suffering and chaos, reveling in the pain of of others. His unpredictability and disregard for life are truly horrifying. His sadistic tendencies and his complete lack of empathy for his victims make him a formidable antagonist. The most psychopathic aspect of Doma is his unquenchable appetite for flesh. He's a cannibalistic demon, preying on both humans and demons alike, and he does it with a huge smile on his face. His acts of violence and cannibalism are depicted in gruesome detail. One particularly unsettling moment is when he devours a fellow demon without leaving a single scrap behind. A character who shares some similarities with Doma is Pennywise, the dancing clown from Stephen King's It. Both are evil beings who derive pleasure from inflicting fear and suffering upon their victims. They have an insatiable appetite for torment and induce horror through their sadistic actions. Number 5. Gluttony, FMA. Gluttony from Full Metal Alchemist is a figure of curiosity. Gluttony's history is rather simple, which, in his case, adds an extra layer of peculiarity. He's a homunculus, which is an artificial being created through alchemy. What sets Gluttony apart is his childlike innocence and simplicity. FMA is filled to the brim with complex characters, but Gluttony stands out as simply the embodiment of his sin. He doesn't have intricate schemes or profound motives. Instead, he is driven by his insatiable hunger, his only desire to consume everything in his path. Gluttony's insatiable appetite is what makes him truly terrifying. He devours not only food, but anything and anyone that crosses his path. His ability to open his mouth wide enough to consume a human whole makes his innocent demeanor grotesque. In real life, Gluttony serves as a symbol of our own insatiable desires. He represents the potential consequence of uncontrolled indulgence. A character that Gluttony bears a resemblance to in pop culture would be Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars. Both are beings of immense appetite, indulging in pleasures of the flesh without restraint. They embody the idea of gluttony and excess, creating a sense of revulsion and fascination in equal measure. Number 6. Minister Honest, Akami ga Kill. The most interesting character in Akami ga Kill is Prime Minister Honest. His manipulative manner makes you want to pull your hair out. Minister Honest's history is a tale of cunning ambition. He rose through the ranks of the Empire and he weaved a web of deceit, manipulation, and treachery. He emerges as the true power behind the throne, pulling the strings of a corrupt empire. He revels in the suffering of others and views life as a mere tool to further his political schemes. His cold, calculating demeanor and complete lack of empathy make him a truly horrifying antagonist. Honest's actions go beyond cruelty, reflecting a heartless lust for power. One of the most chilling aspects of Minister Honest is his literal appetite for human flesh. His cannibalistic tendencies are hidden behind the veneer of politics, making it all the more shocking when revealed. You know, when you look at Minister Honest, you can't help but see the resemblance to Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street. These two characters share a rather gruesome taste for human flesh, and they find enjoyment in the suffering they inflict on their victims. What's really scary about them is their ruthlessness and their readiness to do these horrifying things just to satisfy their dark desires. Number 7. Big Mom, One Piece. In the vast and fantastical world of One Piece, there exists a character who is as monstrous as she is memorable. Big Mom, also known as Charlotte Lin, is a figure who embodies sheer terror. Big Mom's history is a tale of grandeur and gluttony. Born into the Charlotte family, she was destined for a life of privilege and power. However, her insatiable appetite led her to acts of violence, devouring even her own family members. She revels in chaos and destruction, often descending into fits of irrationality and violence. Her single-minded obsession with collecting rare and exotic foods adds to her eerie presence. Her rise to power through violence, her madness, and her willingness to commit horrific acts in pursuit of her desires makes her a character that leaves an indelible mark in the world of anime horror. As we navigate the depths of terror, Big Mom reminds us that even in the most whimsical and fantastical worlds, true horror can lurk in the most unexpected places. A character that Big Mom could be compared to in pop culture would be the Wicked Witch from Hansel and Gretel. Both share a sinister appetite, often involving children, and delight in the fear and suffering they inflict. These dark parallels make them terrifying figures that linger like a whisper in your head. Number 8. Beol, Hunter x Hunter. Beol is a character from Hunter x Hunter that leaves you feeling bittersweet. He's a former serial killer with a creepy appetite for human hair. He's a character that has led a difficult life which leaves us with mixed emotions. Beol was once a promising boxer, but his life took a dark twist as he veered into serial killing and developed a bizarre obsession with human hair. It's a glimpse into how the human mind can go off the rails. His obsession granted him power in a way. It became his nen ability. Whenever he ate somebody's hair, he learned every aspect about that person. Gollum from The Lord of the Rings and Beol can be considered two peas in a pod. Both characters are marked by their descent into madness and their peculiar obsessions. Beol with human hair and Gollum with the One Ring. Their stories remind us of how the human psyche can be consumed by dark desires, which creates intriguing yet unsettling characters that you end up feeling sorry for. He does end up redeeming himself in a way. He helps Gon and Killua with their training, forcefully, but still, it's gotta count, right? Number 9. Maroom, Hunter x Hunter. Maroom is another character from Hunter x Hunter that exudes dominance. After all, he is the king of the Chimera ants. Maroom's evolving character development sets him apart from the typical antagonist. He started as a ruthless and unfeeling leader. One of his first acts as a living being was to decapitate and cannibalize one of his own captains. However, as he encountered humanity and their complexity, he transformed. This blurs the lines between monster and man. He initially sees humans as nothing more than prey, but his interactions with individuals like Komugi begin to change him. His ability to adapt and question his actions makes him a captivating figure. A character that Maroom's evolution could be compared to in pop culture is Darth Vader from Star Wars. Both characters begin as ruthless, villainous figures. They both undergo profound transformations, eventually revealing layers of complexity and humanity. Maroom's and Darth Vader's journey is a testament to the power of character development and storytelling. As we navigate the world of anime horror, Maroom reminds us that even monsters have feelings. The showrunners do an outstanding job of creating empathy for the Chimera Ant King. Number 10. Eren Yeager, Attack on Titan. Eren from Attack on Titan is the antagonist and the hero combined. A hero turned villain is the story arc that keeps you hooked until the end. The more you watch him be Eren, the more difficult it is to draw the line. You can't help but find yourself drawn to his cause. Eren's personality is a complex blend of determination and ruthless resolve. His unwavering commitment to freeing his people often leads him to commit brutal acts, but it's his multifaceted nature that makes him a character you can't easily categorize as a hero or a villain. His charisma and his willingness to break free from the chains of oppression make him both captivating and terrifying. A character that you could compare Eren to from pop culture would be Walter White from Breaking Bad. Both characters start on a path with noble intentions, but are slowly drawn into a world of darkness and moral ambiguity. His journey from a vengeful youth to a ruthless revolutionary is a testament to the ingenuity of Hajime Isayama. At the end of the day, every AOT enthusiast wishes to see Eren happy. He just wants his friends to be free. It's funny how different Season 1 and Season 4 are. And along the way, Eren also becomes okay with cannibalism as he devours other Titan shifters just to bring his worldview into reality. From a guy who wants to kill Titans to the guy who wants to burn the world, Eren is a character you'll never want to piss off. Number 11. Realan Sukuna, Jujutsu Kaisen. In the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, one character commands attention: Realan Sukuna, the king of curses. Sukuna's personality is a sinister blend of charisma and cruelty. He exudes a magnetic charm that draws people in, even as he revels in sadism and violence. His cunning and manipulative nature make him a character who is both alluring and deeply unsettling. Sukuna will do anything to feed his insatiable appetite for power and destruction. His desire to become the ultimate curse and his willingness to consume fingers and souls to achieve this goal is central to his character. His journey from a legendary sorcerer to the king of curses is a testament to the allure of forbidden knowledge and the destructive potential of human ambition. Even the curses trying to rule the world while Sukuna is trapped in Yuji tremble in awe of their king. Sukuna could be compared to the character of Lord Voldemort from the Harry Potter series. Both figures are known for their ruthlessness and their pursuit of power through dark and malevolent means. They embody the idea that unchecked ambition can lead to horrifying consequences. Only difference is Sukuna definitely eats people, and he even has a human chef in the form of his attendant, Uragami, whereas Voldy, to our best knowledge, never actually ate anybody. Number 12. Ashura from Ashura. Ashura, as an anime, is a symbol of despair and brutality. The main character, Ashura, is an extremely complicated character who keeps you glued to your seat as you see his story unfold. It all started with his mother. Their world was cruel and unforgiving, and she did whatever needed to keep her infant son alive. Fast forward 8 years, and the infant has become an axe-wielding, cannibalistic predator preying on the weak and defenseless. After a welcome rain, this boy spots a monk and goes into a frenzy to attack him. After avoiding his attacks with ease, the monk decides to take him in and teach him the ways of humans. He named his boy Ashura, a beast dwelling in this boy's heart. Ashura's personality is a harrowing blend of the trauma he endured and his restless drive for survival. He becomes a cannibalistic predator, preying on the weakest to sate his hunger. The horrors he witnessed and experienced have left him scarred and dangerous. Dexter Morgan from the TV series Dexter and Ashura are similar in certain ways. Like Ashura, Dexter starts as a child who witnesses traumatic events and later becomes a serial killer. Their journeys from innocence to darkness and their dual nature are both central to their narratives. Number 13. Yosiko Oi, Fruit of Grisaia. The Fruit of Griseiya is an anime that leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. At the precipice of this anime stands Yosiko Oi. His backstory is sickening to watch. He changes drastically in this anime arc, from an ordinary teacher to a malevolent predator. He revels in sadistic pleasures and loves committing unspeakable acts that include devouring his students, becoming delirious, and having sexual relations with them. Talk about sleazy. In The Fruit of Griseiya, they pull no punches. They use disturbing and gory imagery that's not for the faint of heart. Add unsettling soundscapes and a chilling narrative into the mix, and you've got an atmosphere that'll send shivers down your spine. Every time Ochi makes an appearance, you'll feel disgusted. His actions, especially how he treats the students under his care, are depicted in a way that's hard to forget. Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones and Yoshihiko are two sides of the same twisted coin. They both thrive on cruelty and love conducting depraved deeds. They do it all with a twisted grin on their faces. Honestly, this guy makes me sick to my stomach. Number 14. Uragami, Parasite. In the eerie realm of Parasite, this one character has us all gripping the edges of our seats. Uragami. This guy's got a history shrouded in mystery like a ghost from the shadows. His personality? Well, let's just say it's unsettling, unpredictable, and cold. Little is known about his past, which adds to his mystery. He's a shadow lurking in the background and exudes a Jeffrey Dahmer vibe. When Shinichi is asking himself whether Uragami is human or not, it captures just how monstrous and cold this guy is. The way he speaks about humans like they're his favorite toys makes you think that he doesn't consider himself human. The showrunners do a great job depicting the coldness of this character. Uragami's sudden and brutal attacks, especially on characters we've grown fond of, hits you like a ton of bricks. This kind of stuff sticks with you. Patrick Bateman from American Psycho and Uragami can be considered of the same species. These guys are like your everyday folks on the surface, but deep down they're so twisted that it's hard to consider them human. They're the kind who will make you question the depravity of humans. That unpredictability they bring to the table, it's just unsettling. 15. Akaginu, Hell's Paradise. Akaginu is a side character in the thrilling new age anime Hell's Paradise. She's a beauty that has a taste for male human flesh. She's not just some run-of-the-mill criminal, she's a true manipulator. Her history is proof of her sinister intellect. Once a cannibalistic woman with a taste for male flesh, she managed to navigate the legal system and avoid the death penalty. But what's even more disturbing is her appetite for deception. The whole setup of criminals fighting for their lives on Kotaku Island is designed to keep viewers on edge, but it's her manipulation of Shion that takes the horror up a notch. She tries to seduce him to catch him off guard. When you think about it, Akaginu's cunning is right up there with iconic manipulative characters like Iago from Shakespeare's Othello. Iago's deceitful plotting and cunning maneuvers are legendary, just like Akaginu's dark charisma and manipulative nature. Once she reaches the island, she displays a whole new level of cunning. Her plan is to murder her supposed guardian, Shion. Unfortunately for her, that didn't work out, but she's still a character I'd avoid. Number 16. Sedo Makihara, Yu Yu Hakusho. Let's step into the world of Yu Yu Hakusho to talk about Sedo Makihara. He's not your typical demon. In fact, he works as a salaryman in the human world to support his family. Sedo possesses qualities like intelligence, hard work, and even a deep devotion to his loved ones. Sedo is capable of intense violence and cruelty. His hunger isn't limited to traditional food. He's known for consuming bizarre things, including live animals, human remains, and insects. This aspect of his character isn't just gross, it's a constant reminder of his demonic nature. Creators did a great job of showcasing the complexity of the demonic character. His appetite for both food and money is alarming to watch. One character who's similar to Sedo in terms of their appetite is Homer Simpson. Homer is also a glutton who is constantly eating and looking for ways to get more food. However, Homer isn't as malicious as Sedo. He's simply a simpleton who is driven by his base desires. His duality makes Sedo a well-rounded character you get hooked on. Number 17. Fraulein Kretschun, A Certain Magical Index. Fraulein Kretschun is a side character from A Certain Magical Index. She's a German nun who's also a powerful magician. She unsurprisingly has a dark side. She's capable of great violence and cruelty, and she doesn't mind using her magic to harm others. Kretschun's history is shrouded in mystery and darkness. Little is known about her origins, so it adds to her weirdness. Her appetite for human blood gives her character a scary depth. She's constantly drinking blood, and she's always looking for new victims. She's always looking to satisfy her curiosity without even pondering the consequences. She's kind of similar to the xenomorphs from the Alien film franchise. They both possess a relentless and predatory nature, along with an insatiable appetite for violence and consumption. I think the Fraulein's appetite for blood is a metaphor for addiction. Like Kretschun, most people are addicted to something that keeps them going. Their addiction consumes them, and they're never satisfied with what they have. Overall, I think her character is written in a simplistic manner. She's seemingly human, but you get the vibe that something's amiss. Her long lavender hair, simple thought process, and mimicking behavior make her an interesting character. Number 18. Abyss Feeders. Claymore. You can't help but feel a little bad for these monsters from Claymore. The Abyss Feeders are incredibly strong beings created by the organization from the flesh of the awakened beings. They have higher regenerative abilities, but are stripped of their sense of self by the organization. This means they're doomed to crave flesh to sate their appetite. Their eyes and mouths are sewn shut, and they communicate in ways besides speaking. These ultra-powerful beings are slaves to the organization. Since they're not originally made from Yoma, they have no Yoki. Abyss Feeders possess an unsettling blend of malevolence and predatory instincts. They exude a sense of relentless menace and a disturbing hunger that transcends comprehension. Their personalities are marked by the desire to consume, and they exhibit no remorse or humanity. The ability of the Abyss Feeders to induce horror within the show is masterfully crafted. Claymore employs eerie soundscapes, dark and surreal visuals, and a chilling narrative to create an atmosphere of dread whenever they appear. Their sudden and brutal acts of violence will leave you trembling with fear. A character that's kinda similar to the Abyss Feeders is the iconic figure of the Demogorgon from the series Stranger Things. Both entities possess an insatiable appetite, and they strike terror into the hearts of those they encounter. The Demogorgon, like the Abyss Feeders, is a relentless predator and symbolizes the fear of the unknown and the monstrous. Number 19. Bunny Elder Bear, Blood Sea. Meet Bunny Elder Bairn from Blood Sea, a character who is equal parts fascinating and terrifying. She's a character that's just plain disturbing to look at. Bunny is tall with white skin, bunny-like ears, and eerie gold eyes. She's got red stripes, long claws, and the ability to transform her limbs to inflict maximum damage. Bunny Elder Bairn's history is veiled in darkness, with little known about her origins and the events leading to her monstrous transformation. These unknown origins add a layer of mystery and unpredictability to her character. She's no ordinary foe. Bunny Elder Bairn is cunning, ruthless, and sadistic. She derives immense pleasure from the suffering of others, and her sinister nature blurs the line between sanity and madness. Her calculating demeanor leaves you questioning the depths of human darkness and the true extent of cruelty. But Bunny Elder Bairn's terror extends beyond the confines of the show. She forces you to confront your own capacity for cruelty and sadism. Talk about unsettling. Number 20. Alucard, Hellsing. Alucard from Hellsing is a character that immediately captures your attention. Within the first few moments of the show, you realize that this guy is dangerous. Alucard's appearance is that of a tall, enigmatic vampire with striking blood-red eyes. He can change his hair as if it's a part of his shadow, adding to his mysterious allure. Alucard's personality is all about cruelty and sadism. He loves to fight brutally, but enjoys seeing his enemies suffer. He's pretty full of himself, often mocking his opponents. But deep down, he's also very sad and kind of jealous of humans who have qualities he lost during his long life. One defining aspect of Alucard is his appetite, not for food, but for violence and chaos. He's infamous for his ability to regenerate after taking severe wounds, and he doesn't hesitate to use his powers to inflict terror upon others. He can even flow back together after being blown to shreds. He's very sturdy. And it's hard not to compare Alucard to Dracula. They're both villains who ooze terrifying charisma. They both straddle the line between sanity and madness, and of course, Alucard is based on the original Vlad Tepes, or Dracula. Alucard, with his captivating history and dark personality, is an anime vampire you won't forget. Marvelous verdict! And there you have it, folks. These 20 characters have shown us that the world of anime and manga can get seriously dark when it comes to cannibalism. It's that forbidden curiosity that keeps us both horrified and glued to the screen. From the streets of Tokyo Ghoul to the medieval horrors of Berserk, these characters have taken us on a wild and gruesome ride. Doesn't it make you question your own limits and morality? Just a little bit. As we wrap up, just remember that the fascination with the morbid is a part of being human. These stories, as twisted as they are, remind us of the fine line that separates us from the darkness. Let us know what you guys think in the comments section down below, and thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.